I want to talk to those of you around the country who might not understand our problems. And I want to explain to you that just because you're far away doesn't mean you shouldn't feel our pain. It doesn't mean that you should not be able to relate to our problems. There is a truth when people say that we are being invaded. It is sadly true. There are simply too many illegal immigrants. We had hoped that the federal government would tackle this problem, but it's just too politically expedient to ignore it. And then, of course, the amnesty. We can't have amnesty again. It would be great if we could, but we can't. We have reached saturation point. If these, 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants living in this country were doctors, scientists, then yes, we could have amnesty. But we cannot afford more poor people. We already have our own poor people in this country that we must take care of. We have Americans who cry themselves to sleep because they don't know how they're going to take care of their bills. If we bring another 10 to 20 million people into this country, we're obligated to pay food stamps, welfare, all sorts of things, schooling. And we just can't afford it right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone who wanted to see this happen. I'm sorry to those of you who are here illegally, who had hoped that you would be able to, join us. It's just not going to happen. No matter what anyone tells you, this is the reality we're faced with. But to those of you outside of the country, I want you to know that if we adopt these laws in other states, if we begin to really deport hundreds of thousands of illegals, I want you to know that I, for one, will push to increase those who have applied legally. There's one thing that all of us here in the United States believe in very strongly, and that is not just rule of law, but that those people who have waited in line patiently to come to this great country should be given every opportunity to do so. And those new arrivals who have taken their citizenship, who have come here legally, who are my friends, feel exactly as I do. So I want you to know that even though it may seem that we are anti-immigrant in the United States, we absolutely are not. We want all of you from all around the world to come to our country, to become part of our collective, part of our whole, to help enrich our nation. Never forget that. I want to talk to those of you in Washington, D.C., and to every elected official throughout the United States. I speak for the American population when I tell you that we are done with illegal immigration. We are fed up. We have reached saturation point. There will be no more politicking on this issue. There will be no more games. There will be no more amnesties. There will be no more foot dragging. It is time we handle our illegal immigrant problem. We must help these people find their way back home again. And we shall. Do you like that politically correct phrase? I like that. Help them find their way home. I know, it's a harsh, cold reality, and none of us want to deal with it. No one wants to do the dirty work. But unfortunately, it must be done. And we intend to do it. Arizona is the first state. The other border states will follow, and thereafter, I expect the rest of the Union to also adopt similar laws. To our politicians in Washington, I have a very clear and very concise message for you. There will be no amnesty, and we will no longer allow the millions of illegal immigrants who are in this country to continue to stay here. They must go. We must give those jobs to Americans. It's a cold thing I'm saying. It's hard, but it is the truth. And it is in the best interests of our country. Our way of life must continue. We must preserve our nation. And this is how we will do it. Get on board.